Hi, my name is Jerry Wise, and I'm a relationship expert. I'm the director for the Center for Self Differentiation at Family Tree Counseling Associates in Carmel, Indiana, on the north side of Indianapolis. I offer in office and online services for individuals, marriages, and families. This video is on the silent treatment, and I've entitled it The Silent Treatment Marriage. I've had many complaints and concerns and also requests to talk about this subject. So let me begin with, what is the silent treatment? Well, the silent treatment is when a person behaves in a passive-aggressive manner to convey their anger or grievance by ignoring or not speaking to another. In severe cases of silent treatment, I would consider this emotional abuse, when it's meant to control and emotionally harm another person. The one giving the silent treatment want the object of their anger to feel unworthy or guilty, or they want to extort an apology from another or some significant change in behavior. Silent treatment is not the same thing as a cooling off period. A cooling off period is done for the purpose of calming down and is aimed at the self, not at the other. The silent treatment is aimed at the other. Time out or cooling down is healthy behavior. Silent treatment is dysfunctional or unhealthy behavior. So what's the best response to the silent treatment? I always advise and I recommend and coach people over and over again. Direct your focus to self and not to the silent treatment giver. In other words, the aim and the growth goal is to be able to stand alone and self-differentiate from the silent treatment giver. If we suffer from abandonment issues or have low self-worth or desire enmeshment with the silent treatment giver, then this will be a real challenge. And we may need professional help to help us grow in this way. But really, the goal is to be able to self-differentiate from the silent treatment giver. The reason why the silent treatment is so damaging and so hurtful is because we are often enmeshed with the silent treatment giver. Now, many will teach this approach. Well, we just don't want to give them the satisfaction of seeing the negative emotional effects of their silent treatment behavior. And while I do agree that this is a possible tool in reducing the silent treatment in a marriage, if they do not see you suffer from their silent treatment, then in fact they may do it less. Or, what I've also found is they might also escalate more and even more intensely. Because if they see that they're getting resistance from you and their approach is not working, they may escalate. And I think for us to understand the dynamics of that, we can more effectively deal with silent treatment. And I think that's where a family systems approach really does help us see more dynamics of what's going on. If you see this advice you see that this advice is still the focus on the other. In other words, if I don't show them I'm upset, then they'll stop doing it. But again, we're focusing on the other, and that sometimes causes a problem. And it doesn't resolve the pain of the victim or the object of the object of the silent treatment. And I think the object of the silent treatment is where we need to work and where we need to focus. Again, while this may be useful thinking, it's not very systems thinking. And it does not take into account the whole relationship dynamics. And I like to work with people to help them see the whole relationship dynamics so they can have much more leverage and be much more effective and also handle themselves better. I work with folks to not simply try to not let it bother them or show the other that it bothers them, but to really do the work of de-enmeshment and self-differentiation which typically includes family of origin work. Well, you say, well, what does my family of origin have to do with my husband who treats me in a silent treatment way? Well, we find ourselves with this silent treatment type of partner and are hurt and pinged by the silent treatment of my partner because of unresolved family of origin issues. The best solution and more permanent solution involves the hard work of dealing with our family of origin issues, because that's often what got us here in the first place. I also often talk about the solution is not near the problem. If someone just tells you, well, just don't let them see that it bothers you, even though it tears you up inside, just don't let them see it. Well, again, they may not get as much satisfaction out of their silent treatment, I agree, but the problem is it doesn't resolve the problems, and it doesn't resolve your problems of feeling torn up inside because of the silent treatment effect. So the solution is not just near the problem. The solution may be far away in family of origin issues that might resolve this problem. We need to deal with family of origin work or issues, resolve unmet self-needs, low self-esteem, etc. And by being self and able to stand alone, you can approach your partner with real self and personal inner authority that you can devise a better and long-lasting solution for your marriage. Being able to say, for example, I love you, dear, but I cannot live with our pattern of silent treatment in our marriage. Either we seek help for this problem or our marriage will continue to suffer and my fear is possibly end. I can live with it either way, but I prefer to stay married and I do love you. But I cannot live with the emotional abuse dynamic of the silent treatment in our marriage. That takes a lot of courage to do that. It often takes a lot of work of family of origin issues and self-esteem issues to be able to get to that place. What it means is to feel unenmeshed while being self. And it looks like this. When the silent treatment happens, we do not feel hooked or pressured to appease our partner. We don't fall into our well of neediness, our deep pit of low self-esteem or feelings of rejection or our fear of abandonment. And that's when the silent treatment really doesn't work, when it doesn't hook or push those buttons. So I believe removing those buttons is the most long-lasting solution. Just starving our partner of the rewards of their unjust behavior may be helpful, but I don't think completely addresses the underlying problem, which the object of the silent treatment feels and experiences. So let me give you at least some helpful tips before we end our video. What should we do when we experience silent treatment? I would advise don't appear upset. Be seen to be upbeat. Refrain from a tit for tat and not thinking, well, I'll show them. Try not to coax your partner into speaking or resolving the silent treatment. In other words, don't pursue. There's an important underlying rule in family system dynamics. Pursuers protect distancers. If you pursue, you're protecting the distancer from themselves. And I don't think it resolves the distancing. And silent treatment is distancing. It's a mini cutoff. Don't pursue. In other words, don't take the bait. If you're going to make changes, I believe it's important to educate and tell your partner what you're going to be doing and what you've learned. For example, telling your partner, the next time we have this silent treatment thing that happens in our marriage, I'm going to be doing something new. When you go silent and won't talk to me, I'll be going over to my sister's house and visiting with her. I will try to be upbeat. I will go on with my life as though you are not upset. I just want you to know this. This is not meant as a personal attack to you. This is a meant of self-care for me, because I can't fix your silent treatment or passive aggressive feelings or behavior. I can't fix that, only you can. So be seen to be upbeat, and teach people the power, or what I tend to try to do is I try to teach people to underreact. We're all so easy to overreact. I try to help and teach people to underreact. If you cannot break the cycle of the silent treatment by communicating with each other as a couple, seek professional help. Also, remember, do not use psychology terms, or diagnoses to argue or deal with the silent treatment. Or I don't believe it's helpful to do that in your marriage at all. I consider it name-calling or swearing when couples do that. Well, you're just being passive-aggressive. You're just so codependent. You're just ... or whatever the therapist said. Those are bad words in a marriage. You can't control me. I know you have a controlling personality. I don't allow couples to do that in my office, because that's not sharing the true you. That's name calling. And when you say to someone, you're just passive aggressive, that's name calling. I think there's a correct way to talk about what your partner might be doing if they're using the silent treatment. To say this, rather than you're just being passive aggressive, say, I don't like it when you stop talking and won't talk to me because you are angry or you don't like what I said or did. That's a better thing to say than you're being passive aggressive. That will only intensify the problem, and I consider it name calling. If you would like to learn more about breaking the cycle of the silent treatment, or you'd like to learn to gain a true sense of self, contact me for online or in-office work. If you email me, I'll send you a complete listing of all of my free videos on YouTube. I'll explain the online coaching process, explaining fees. I'll answer any questions you might have. There's no pressure. I'm very easy to work with. Check out our Angie's List for lots of recommendations. I hope you'll join our YouTube channel, the Family Tree Counseling channel. And if you look on the screen, you can find my contact information, telephone number, and email address. I want to thank you very much for watching the video today, and have a great day.